Well, good evening, Lupus warriors and survivors all around the world. Welcome to our Sunday night video brought to you by the Lord's Lupus and Support channel. Thank you so much for joining me on tonight. And so on tonight, we're going to be discussing a topic that not only impacts lupus warriors, but the impact can be far-reaching and it's more common amongst people than what we think. And so in order to unpack this topic, my first question I would like to pose to you is, how does having lupus make you feel? How does having lupus make you feel? Well, when asked this question in a poll, 42% of people reported feeling loneliness, disconnected, isolation. But yet and still the majority of people reported after receiving a diagnosis of lupus feeling different. And so on tonight, that is what we're going to talk about. We're going to discuss being different. And so when you hear the word different or being different, the label, when we hear someone being labeled as being different, does it conjure up in you a negative connotation? For most people, it does. The label of being different, it comes with all sorts of negative thoughts. And so why is that? Well, because being different, and I don't have a textbook definition, I'm just going to go from what I feel, give you my definition of being different. What does it mean? Well, we have to look at reasons that people are labeled as being different, first of all. It can be from something as minor as how you wear your hair, the color of your eyes, the way you walk, the way you talk, the school you went to, the job you work, the family you come from, the clothes you wear, the shoes you wear, your race, your gender, your ethnicity. All of these things are visible things that make us different. But being labeled as different can also come from things that are unseen as well, such as those with learning disabilities, ADHD, dyslexia. All of these things, when labeled, when we carry these labels, we're labeled as being different. And so tonight, I want to encourage you and get you to look at being differently. I guess I can say it that way. Because being different is all about your perspective. You know, anyone who looks at being different as negatively, that's their perspective. But I want to invite you to look at being different. Weigh out the pros and the cons. Let's change our perspective about being different. Let's look at being different as something positive. So what are some positive things about being different? Again, no textbook definition. Being different means that you stand out from the crowd. You're set apart from the rest. You know, you have something about you that puts you in a different category, different from everybody else. You have something about you that makes people remember you, that makes you stand out from the rest, which makes you, more memorable. And so when we look at it like that, do you still feel that same negative connotation? So on tonight, I'm going to be diving into a little bit from the book, The Light We Carry, written by our previous First Lady, Michelle Obama. She writes so graciously about being different. And I can tell that she's writing from the heart, and she really can connect to those of us that feel different. And so if I really think about it and admit to it, yes, lupus has made me different. As a matter of fact, I can't deny that I'm not different. I'm not going to deny that. I'm different because I'm not the same person that I used to be before my diagnosis of lupus. I can't do some of the same things with ease that I was able to do prior to my diagnosis of lupus. I'm different socially. There are some things that I have to turn down or I have to leave early because I have to think about how I'm going to feel. I have to manage a chronic illness. I have to manage everything that comes with the chronic illness: medications, pain, fatigue, wondering when the next flare may be around the corner. So these are all the things that make me different now. Prior to my diagnosis with lupus, I didn't worry about these things. And again, a lot of times when we feel different, it's because we feel that no one else is going through what we're going through. But we all know that that's not true. Just because we're going through something and no one in our sphere of influence or within our borders, we don't see someone going through the same thing, it doesn't mean that we're the only one. There's always someone out there. No matter what you go through in life, there's always someone out there that is going through or have been through the same thing. And so, it's that feeling alone, like no one understands and no one else is going through this, that makes us feel different. But on tonight, before I go on and we get into discussing, how elegantly Michelle Obama wrote about being different, first of all, I must give out my Sunday shout out. And I have 3 people that I want to recognize. The first person is Hurley. Next is Foxy Whitehead, and then Kate Hanley. To all 3 of you, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the community. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of the community. And I pray that something on this channel will encourage your hearts and give you the inspiration of courage to go on, regardless in life what your journey may be at this time, whether it's lupus or a different autoimmune disease or a different chronic illness. I pray that something on my channel, something in the community will encourage you to go on and continue to take this journey. Okay, in the book, The Light We Carry, Michelle Obama explains in detail what life was like for her and her family when her father received a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease in which the body attacks itself. And she talks about, watching her father go from this vibrant man that reported to work every day to eventually the disease manifesting itself and taking over in a debilitating way, which he went from, being vibrant to needing a cane, later crutches, later, a motor scooter, and last but not least, a wheelchair. And she writes from a point of view of not only the difference that, this disease, how it impacted him, but how it impacted them as a family, as a whole. She talks about, feeling different because, as children, feeling that they had to worry about things that other people didn't have to worry about. She writes about, as the disease started to progress, the whole family had to start looking at space and elevation and time and energy in a totally different way. How many of you can relate to that as a lupus warrior, as a lupus survivor? For example, even navigating through a parking lot when going to her brother's football games, they had to think about how they were going to navigate their father through the parking lot. They had to take into consideration the distance that it took to get their father from one place to another and the energy that he would have to exert to get to that place. Also, they had to take into consideration the height of curbs, and when going on a family outing, were there going to be enough benches and seats that if he needed to stop and take a rest. All of this contributed to her and her family feeling different. But she writes this on page 7 in the book, The Light We Carry, and she dedicates this paragraph to those who've been defined as being different. And it reads, "There's nothing easy about finding your way through a world loaded with obstacles that others can't or don't see. When you are different, you feel as if you're operating with a different map, a different set of navigational challenges than those around you. Sometimes you feel like you have no map at all. Your differences will often precede you into a room. People see it before they see you, which leaves you with the task of overcoming. And overcoming is almost by definition draining." She talked about learning to be, watchful, survival, having to learn how to figure out and guard your energy and to count every step. But she writes this, "Being different conditions you towards cautiousness, even as it demands that you be bold." Now that's powerful. And so I'm going to leave you with this on tonight. For those of you on a lupus journey, yes, having lupus makes us different, but it does not make us invisible. Stay strong, stay encouraged, stay blessed. Know that there's life after lupus and that God loves you with all of his heart, and he always has, and that your life still matters. Your life still matters. Stay strong, lupus